The DLC or Doki Doki Literature Club is a great game for anyone who wants to date Sims, but is a little bored with the same old formula. Dan Salvato, creator of Project M fame, puts the actor in the role of a high school student, invited to join an extracurricular club by his shy classmate Sayori. It's not something that would look very strange in any dating simulation, right? As the game begins in a familiar area, towards the second half it begins to make a turn for oh my god what? Without much indulgence, this is definitely a game to play with the lights off. It's free from the stereotypes of the genre. You can finish in 4 hours. As one of the most important games of all time for the FPS genre, Doom does not need any further introduction. While it can be argued that every Doom game can be completed in one sitting, it all depends on the sitting time and Doom skills of the person. Regardless of your skill level, the original 1993 title takes about 4 hours to complete, making it the perfect game to sift through a few hours before work or school. Superhot is an FPS where every move you shoot feels great. The player is thrown into a frighteningly sterile environment, using whatever is around to defend himself against aggressive red men. Oh, and time doesn't move unless you move. The main storyline of the game can be completed in under 3 hours, and you can get it. The sequel is only a few hours longer. This is if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of free time but enjoy completing games. Superhot is the series for you. This is also a lot of fun. The ultra-violent vaporwave shooter Hotline Miami is a great choice when you don't have much time. Each level is short enough to even finish a coffee break, and the whole game comes in about 5 hours of completion. Unfortunately for those with no spare time, the story of the sequel could take around 10 hours, but still definitely worth learning. Many fans claim to be superior to the first. While top-down shooters aren't everyone's cup of tea, the game is compelling enough to overcome anyone's genre bias. The ability to be ultra-stealthy or go into all guns is a huge plus. Little Nightmares and its sequel are two really interesting games. The platform game, a fun passage of puzzle and horror. Unfortunately, the trailers don't do the horror aspect fairly, but once you play them, the horror becomes extremely pronounced as you guide the lovable characters through limbo-esque levels. Definitely more ring than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but still very disturbing. Little Nightmares 2 is said to have solved many issues with the previous installment, but both can be completed in under 5 hours, perfect for quite a few hours before bed. Ground Zeroes was definitely an interesting introduction to the Metal Gear Solid lineup. In terms of gameplay, this was a great addition to the series, and many praised its replayability and meaningful stealth mechanisms. But there was one big problem, one small problem, literally. The size of the game. Despite how entertaining the title was, many claimed the game was so short that it felt more like a tech demo than a full-fledged MGS title, because it only took a few hours to complete. Understandably, many were upset that they paid such a high price for such a short game, $30. But since the game can now be bought for a fraction of its original price, it's definitely worth the grab for a fun dip. MGS series. If you're looking for a challenging story-based game, Super Monkey Ball probably isn't for you. However, what the game offers are fast-paced, checker-breaking, infuriating puzzle races where you control a cute monkey in a gachapon. The game doesn't focus that heavily on a particularly intense story mode, as many enjoy Super Monkey Ball by scoring a higher score. Perhaps one of the most iconic games on this list, Portal ticks many boxes. Fluid gameplay, terrifying foes, difficult puzzles, incredible soundtrack reminiscent of Wazoo, the list goes on and on. So the surprising thing is that this game, which has so many pursuits, is so short. The game can be completed in 3 hours like Hotline Miami. Each level can be done pretty quickly, so it's a great game to have only a few hours. Don't want to play something that brings a lot of tax because you're tired. Want something to cheer you up as the job sucks? No problem. Stanley Parable. While the idea of a walking simulator can irritate a lot of people, what is so attractive is that the actor has complete control over the narrative and narration. That is, the whole game will be Undertale is very similar to DDLC. It looks pretty cute from the outside. However, going deeper reveals some rather dark themes. These are offset by a fantastic sense of humor that stretches across the entire title. Undertale manages to make fun of RPG metaphors without feeling like a parody, and offers some really tough boss fights. The game has 3 main endings, but there are more than 10. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked the video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the page.